Okay, let's see what we have here. Write a function to find the longest common prefix string among an array of strings. If there is no common prefix, return an empty string. In example 1, we have flower, we have flow, and we have flight. In this example, FL is the common prefix in all the strings that we have in the array. In example 2, we have dog, and we have a different word and also a car. So this one, there is not a common prefix in this example. That is why you're returning an empty string. So remember, there is a catch. If you're going to loop over all the items as per the first index in this array, that means we are going to have a bound error when you come to index 1. So the best thing to do is to make sure that you are working according to the minimum length of the string inside the array. So for that, we are going to create the minimum length, and we are going to initialize it as the biggest number, float infinite. Now, for us to get the minimum length, we are going to loop over the string in strings if the length of string is less than the minimum length, then we found our new minimum length equal to the length of string. So this one is going to update our minimum length. Moving on smoothly. Now that we have that, we've already taken care of the bound error that we are going to get. Now we are moving to the next stage. We need to loop over each character in the array so that we can check if the first, second, third, up to the last item in each character is the same as the first item in the string. Now, for us to loop over, we need to get an index, and you're going to create one. We're going to call it I. We're going to start at 0. So we make sure that the bound is not outside what we're doing. We're going to say while I is less than the minimum length that we've created. So this is what you're going to do for string in strings. So we are going to check if character at index I is not equal to the character of the strings, the first item at index I. So we are comparing all the characters with the characters as index 0, which is going to be the first item in the strings. For this case, it's going to be the flower. Now, if this is not going to match, then you're going to return the characters from index 0 up to, but not equal to, index I that you've created. Now, if this is going to pass and you loop over and we don't have to return this, then that means we are going to update our I so that you can move to the next item in the strings. After we are done with the while loop and checking everything that is correct and return it, and you haven't find ourselves returning our result, that means that all the items obeyed this rule of I is less than minimum length, and we have to stop because the length, it has been captured. Now we have to return our result, which is going to be the same as the string from the first item but not equal to the I index. Okay, so let's test this code and run it. But before running it, let me go through and see if it is okay. We're checking the length of string and updating it. Good. We are creating our pointer. You're using it to make sure that you're not out of bound. We are looping over the strings to get each character and finding the item at index I so that we can compare it with the first item in the strings, then we return this if this is not this the items are not the same. If the items are the same, we have to skip this part and increase I so that we can have this one to be 2. Now the loop will continue. Once the loop is done, because this is going to break, once we break out, you're going to return the characters from index 0 to the index of I, depending on which strings that you're going to have. So if you're not going to find anything here, then that means it's going to return an empty string. So let's run this code. Great, we are having it correctly. This is nice. So let us look at the time complexity of this code. Time complexity is big O of, we are looping it once, which is time here is going to be big O of S string, which is n. We are looping it here, which is going to be big O of the minimum length, we can call it m. You're also moving and looping here once, big O of string again. So for this one, we are going to have, so this string you're going to have like n, well, the same, we can just name it the same way, n. So we have n plus m times n, and this one is the same as big O of mn. The space complexity of this code, we are not creating any space and we are not creating any data structure, we are just updating the minimum length, and here is going to be big O of 1, which is going to be constant time. That is how we handle this kind of question. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.